on my cell phone, seeking to record this on my memo device on my computer. This is a recording of I Will Restore Blog Talk Radio as a podcast as well. And it's a recording that will take place and be on the podcast, on the radio program. And our intent is to be able to begin this process and carry it forward for a while. We are having a discussion about, right now, the discussion is about the work of Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard, we have in the past done what was a 5-lesson series in which we've covered his sermon presentations. Consciousness is the only reality. Assumption hardened into fact. Thinking fourth dimensionally. No one to change but self. And then there is the one that staying with your concept of self. Staying with your concept of self. Staying with whatever it is that you started out with, all the way through this process of change. Being persistent. And there is a 5 sessions that are involved with this entire idea of manifesting or creating or bringing to pass your idea of your ideal life, what we call your 4D life. And we're working with this for individuals who actually have in mind that they want to take responsibility to change their life. They want to change their life. And we have had this discussion, we're having this discussion because of the aspect that an individual, no matter how good your life is, no matter how good it has been a moment ago, no matter how good it is right now, that there's a desire to reach for, to strive for, to be more, to do more, to have more, to improve, to grow, to mature. And that an individual, whether it is because of pain, whether it is because of some condition in life, it could be something that moves you forward, that is a vision that you have for the future, some goal that you're reaching for, that you have an idea of what the future could be, or it could be pain that's in your life right now that is motivating you. Something could be just causing you to reach for a better tomorrow, a better next moment. And that as a result of that, you dream of, you have a vision of, you have a desire for something that you don't have right now. And that dream, that desire, is something that's in your awareness that you see, dream, vision. You have a conscious of something that could be different, that you want something different. That's what we're speaking of when we say consciousness is the only reality. This is something that's internal, something that you're able to come back to. We speak of the 4D life, for we speak of that desire as something that must be internal to you, not something somebody else is giving you or pushing you for. And it could be that your motivation could be external, coming from something outside of you. But rather than that, we're speaking of motivation that's intrinsic from the inside of you, motivation that comes from inside. And that way, it is really a peaceful motivation. It is something that you're fighting for and not something that you're fighting against. Because we want that motivation that is within you to not rip you apart, tear you apart, to empower you and not disempower you. That you can be at peace with it, that you can bring your all to it. And so this is what we're speaking of when we speak of consciousness is the only reality. This particular presentation done by Neville Goddard, Consciousness is the Only Reality, is, as we said, an item that is part of a 5-series set of sermons that Neville Goddard, a mystic that lived in the 20th century, we're in the 21st century, but the principles are eternal. Principles are eternal. And he was dealing with a principle that basically says what an individual holds in their mind for the point of time that it becomes their dominant prevailing thought that they continue to come back to over and over and over again, that eventually that thought becomes their tangible third dimensional reality. What you hold in the fourth dimension in regard to your imagination, in regard to your subconscious, you, by virtue of holding it there, you create it in the third dimension. You create it. We live in the third dimension. But your mind, conscious and subconscious, has the ability to create and to bring forth. That is what the architect does when the architect envisions and then begins to sketch, put on paper, creates a building, a house. That's what a painter does. That's what creative people do when it comes to music. An individual steps into that realm where nothing is tangible and they create something. And then when they bring it out of that fourth dimension into the third dimension, we marvel. There's an individual that you can look up and find online, an individual called Frank Lloyd Wright, creative person, very creative person. We've had these individuals all through time. I believe, if I am remembering correctly, I believe it was someone named Savage, I believe, that I saw, and this is Black History Month, and I believe the individual was named Savage. I may be incorrect in saying this. I believe I saw someone today who posted online an individual named Savage who was a sculptor, and that she sculptured some amazing things in the 1920s. I'd have to be more conversant with this. But again, individuals of all races, all ethnic groups, have individuals within them that have this amazing ability to create. And people all over humanity, from every race, have this ability. You have this God-given ability as well to create your life. We want you to feel empowered to discover and to use this particular ability. And in the presentation entitled Consciousness is the Only Reality, Neville Goddard was speaking to and about that particular ability. And at I Will Restore, a nonprofit organization that we have created in order to assist individuals that they have that ability and to utilize it, because you need tools and techniques. we actually help individuals in regard to that. We offer services, and we also have tools and techniques that an individual can actually purchase, buy, and we conduct workshops and all of these things in order to empower as many people as possible with these tools and techniques. And we also have Restore Executive Life and Leadership Coaching and Consulting, that we also offer these tools and techniques, both coaching, executive life and leadership coaching and consulting, that we empower not only individuals but also organizations. And then we have Spirit of Victory and Praise International Spiritual Center, that we actually bring it forth in regard to a spiritual center, so that there's a collective group of individuals who are also working together in order to create community, in order to bring these things about as well, so that we're able to actually empower individuals to be able to bring together a body of individuals working together to be able to actually bring about a change in life for a number of individuals together, working together, because the world has a desire for difference. A world can be different in a way that we have not seen it before. And so there's a dream for humanity or for a country. All of these things. Consciousness is the only reality. Consciousness is what we're talking about here. And so it really just depends when it comes to an individual and how they work and what they do, and how wide is the desire of an individual working together in regard to what we are speaking of here. But we wanted to just bring this forth and see how it is that we can present it in the many ways that we can possibly present it here at Blog Talk Radio, in regard to bringing it here, in regard to the podcasts, and see what we can do. Again, we're becoming aware and conscious of this particular medium podcasts. We've done the other items before, but this is something that is new, that to me, as far as being able to actually do these particular podcasts and this particular software, and using it in such a way that it is something that we can present to you. And so this is our first opportunity to actually use these particular items and bring them forth in this way. And so as we bring them forward, we want to say again that we also have the sermons themselves, the 5 sermons that you can read and actually begin to use these particular items. We know that they can be found online. You can also, if you would send us a email at info@iwillrestore.com, info@iwillrestore.com, then we will send you a PDF that has these particular 5 sermons in them, together. We will send them to you. And then we can also begin a process of having a conversation with you about those presentations. And we can talk with you about how they work together, what's involved with these particular 5 sermons, as we are doing here on Blog Talk Radio, as we're doing in regard to these particular items. And we can have a conversation. We've done this in the past. We'd like to continue to do this. It is something that can be beneficial to you and it will bring forth something really, really wonderful and will bless your life. We can also, if you so desire, when it comes to these 5 sermons, when you put this together with what we call your 4D life, which is the life that you desire. In other words, you is something, as we said, that you desire. You want this life. Is something that you want for yourself. And then it's defined. And this is especially true, the life that you define. We speak of this from the standpoint of that it is written down. The text says, write the vision and make it plain. And so we have a planner, or what we call a spiritual strategic life planner, and you write it down within that planner. And we can send that to you either as an entire planner, which is a number of pages that allows you to look at your life from a number of perspectives. And as a result of that, you get it down on paper, because there's the aspect of not only writing it down, but you want to look at it and you want to be able to actually see it and then also envision it. And then you want to be able to step into it and feel it. And when you read Neville Goddard, he'll talk about the aspect of what is called the feeling tone, and be able to feel it and feel yourself as if it is present right now, today, in this moment. And how vital that is to be at the vibration of this particular experience. That's vital. That's absolutely vital. The text in the Bible talks about the aspect that when you ask, believe that you receive it right now. That is yours right now at this particular moment. And so you're in the moment that is real. Even in the 4th dimension, it's real. You can feel its reality right now. And so it's already yours. And as a result of that, that brings the vibration. You're already there. And because it's real to you right now, everything else must form around you that's true, because you're already third dimensionally in this moment. Third dimensionally is real. You're feeling it. You've already created yourself third dimensionally there. And so the rest of the third dimensional aspects of it must also be created. And as a result of that, it must come to be. And the more you vibrate to it, meaning the more times you step into that space, the more it must build out around you. So, when you are in your closet, when you're in your space, this aspect of writing it down helps you to make sure that you go back to the space each time. Make sure that you go back to the space each time. And so the first D is that it is desired. The second D is that it's defined. The third D is that it is divinely intended for you. And so you can, because of that, because you know it's divinely intended for you, you can have the assurance that it's going to work. It's going to work. You don't have to worry about or be concerned about maybe it will, maybe it won't. That helps you to have the energy, the assurance that it will happen. And then the 4th D is, as we've said, it's lived on the 4th dimensional level. And as we said, we have this spiritual strategic life planner that helps you to have that kind of assurance. And so we have a number of things, as we said, that these 2 items, the aspect of the 5 sermons by Neville, and then also the spiritual strategic life planner that you can use to get all of this down so that you have it. Those are absolutely free to you. And you receive those by sending the email requesting them to info@iwillrestore.com, and they are sent to you with an offer, of course, that you would receive continual emails that support you in the process of this transformation. I mentioned the person named Savage. Her name is Augusta, Augusta, Savage, Savage. She is a sculptor. She was an African American sculptor associated with the Harlem Renaissance, and she was also a teacher. And she was born February 29th, 1892. She transitioned March the 27th, 1962. And there is an item on Wikipedia that you can look up the information on her and who she was and what she did. As I said, I was looking on one of my Facebook pages, and I saw this information about her. And again, she was a creative individual. And all of these things, again, consciousness is the only reality. She was a creative person stepping into this space that we're talking about when we speak of consciousness. And so you're able to see and to understand that you too are one of God's children, and you also have the ability to create. And what we're talking about is creating the life that you want, and assuring you that no matter who you are, that this creativity, this ability to create, grows stronger the more that you use it. And there are tools and techniques that help you to become better at being creative. And that we want to encourage you each step along the way to become better for your benefit. Better at this that you're doing. Better at it. And I've mentioned that there are items that are on the web that you can look at, some amazing items. If you have listened to our program, I Will Restore, on Blog Talk Radio in the past, then we have mentioned a person named Ashante Johnson who does a TED Talk on the power of visualization that's on YouTube. It's a wonderful talk. She is entitled The Power of Visualization, that you're able to look at, and she talks about her process, which is pretty much the very same thing that we're talking about. She talks about how she actually practiced this item that we're talking about and how it changed her life. The particular item, that the part of it that I was so impressed with, that I think is just wonderful, absolutely wonderful, was when she talked about how she got her first room or first area that she was a coach in, as far as not when she first started, but an enclosed area that she was a coach in. I mean, the entire thing is wonderful. It's just wonderful. Go and look and see yourself as her in your particular area of expertise or what you want to bring to pass. See it as her. See her as you. And then envision yourself as doing what she did. And then do what she did for your own self. Ashante Johnson is her name. The power of visualization is her topic. And see it. And then you can find somebody and invite them to listen to this. You can invite them to see her presentation. Just spread it around to anybody that you think might be interested. I think it's just a powerful presentation. And it's just a powerful presentation. There's another item. I've mentioned the book, a book that came out a few years ago, perhaps 10 years ago, not sure, don't remember exactly. I look at the copyright date of it, but it's now a classic done by a man called Stephen Covey. I'm a reader, Right now, I've got what they call a terminal degree. I've got a Doctor of Ministry degree from Howard University School of Divinity. There was taught by an individual that I respected and was highly respected at the time that I went to school. I respected him. I enjoyed being taught by him. He was someone who taught in his own unique way. He was very, very special to me. He was my departmental chair, committee chair. But this particular book is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It was copyrighted in 1989, so it's got a few years on it, but it's still a classic. And just like I mentioned, Robert Kiyosaki and his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, this man, Dr. Stephen Covey, wrote this book and then developed a number of books that came from this book and built an empire, as we would call it, a publishing empire from it. But the item that is here is the first and second habit of the 7 habits. First, second habit. The first habit is being proactive, which deals with this aspect of no matter what happens to you, you become the actor, not the reactor. You become the actor. Proactivity says you become the actor. You choose, even when something is done to you or towards you, that you don't react to things that happen to you. You take control of you, your feelings, your actions. You take control of the situation as far as you're concerned. And so you choose because you have the power of you. And if you don't have the power, then you choose. You practice how you choose. What are your options? By becoming self-aware of you. And as a result of that, then you choose how you respond to a situation. Again, we teach individuals this type of thing. It's so powerful. This whole aspect of the circle of concern and the circle of influence is so powerful. We teach a course on self-awareness, where the individual begins to understand who he or she is. And as a result of that, to master a situation. This is so powerful in regard to living. And just understand this whole thing. The movies used to be things like, the shows used to be things like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. The different personalities that are within you, or you can, in the days now, you have individuals like, what was the Incredible Hulk? It was the story when it first became told in the comic books, was an individual, and now in the movies, the Avengers, those kinds of things. You had the individuals who, that when he went into a rage, he became one person, and then when he calmed down, he became another person. And you use those kinds of stories to understand that when you are feeling one way, you are one person. When you're feeling another way, you're another person. Well, you get to choose which person you're going to be. You get to choose which person you're going to be. And you become aware of what moves you through your process. And then you get control of your process. That's what we're talking about when it comes to empowerment. You move from being entertained to being empowered. And so that was the first habit. And the second habit in his book, Second Habit of Highly Effective People, because there are people around you who are empowered. If you're not taking control of your life, somebody else is. Somebody else is running your life. And we want to make sure that if you're listening to this program, then you will be in charge of your life. You will be in charge of your life since you're listening to this program. And listening to I Will Restore Blog Talk Radio and to the podcast, all of these kinds of things, we are here to empower you. And we're speaking of it from both a biblical perspective, but also from the mythological perspective and the psychological perspective. As I said, I have a degree from Howard University School of Divinity. I've been a minister for over 40 years. I've pastored within the denomination, then served as an independent pastor of the church that I established. Was the original founder of this church, still exists. And then also, I also, in regard to serving as a pastor, I've also gone back to school again and studying what is called industrial organizational psychology with a specialty in leadership development and coaching, and have to this time in doing what is called a PhD, again another terminal degree, in doing pretty much all the courses. I've been in school a lot, just really for my own maturity, for one thing, growing in my own maturity. I've been in school a lot all of my life because I needed to understand me. And so as a result of that, growing in my own maturity, and I've pretty much done all of the courses that are required according to the school that I'm in, this place called Walden University. And I've done pretty much all of the courses, taken the last course that I'm in now. This is the 11th week of that course that is called Writing a Quality Perspective. I've turned in my last assignment, have 2 discussion posts that are required, and then that course will be finished in regard to that. And then there's the taking of one other course, which is an elective, and then writing the dissertation that is involved with that particular course. So I would have completed at the end of this next quarter all of the courses other than writing another, which will be my second dissertation on a particular topic. And so there is the qualification. And then I've done a what is called a certification process with an individual that deals with coaching, John Maxwell Group Coaching training program. And so all of that to qualify, again, to be able to talk with other individuals in regard to how they can change their life. And so this entire process of helping as many people as possible to bring about the life that they want. That's why we're having a conversation with you today, to bring about the life that you want, because there are people all over the world. And I've traveled to various places with a desire to benefit people. And I know that I've seen individuals. I just talked with someone just a couple of days ago, who is today, as a result of conversations that we've had and just conversations that we've had, sit downs and having conversations over the course of time, working through some things. And we've had these conversations. They have been wonderful. And he today was going to take a particular test that was going to move him to a new level of his life. And we were praying this morning. I wrote him a text last night, late in the night, just letting him know that he was in my prayers, my affirmative prayers, and I know that he was going to pass this test and that he was going to move to this next level. He was going to move to this next level of his life. And that's the same thing we want to do for you. When you write it down, when you know what you're going to do, when you know what you want, when you know that it's something that's going to come forth for your life, you know it's something that's intended for you, you know it, then it's coming your way. And so there is that book that says, that second habit, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. It's in that book. Begin with the end in mind. In other words, be there already. Everything is created twice. It's created twice. It's created in your mind. It's created on the 4th dimensional level. And as a result of that, it then manifests in the 3rd dimensional level. And then I'll finally say, in regard to this particular period of time that we're in right now, and the last thing I want to do, I want to just play for you. I want to just play for you something else I created last night. We're calling it Attracting Abundance. And it's really something that you can listen to for a little while of time, or you can listen to it for the entire time. But it's a pretty nice length period of time. It's about 45 minutes. Now, that's a long time. And it requires that it's a long time if you have not grown accustomed. You've already been practicing this idea of meditation. It's a long period of time. There are people who meditate far longer than this. But if you're not accustomed to meditating in the way that it's speaking of meditating, then that's an extreme long time to begin meditating. So it's not a recommended period of time for you to be meditating like that. Okay? It's not a recommended period of time for you to be meditating like that. But I want to introduce it to you. And you can download the podcast and you can use it. And again, there's no cost for you downloading the podcast, not this particular podcast. But it's called Attracting Abundance. And we'll do this in just a moment. But I want to tell you another. I remember that I've been a minister within, still a minister. There's a course that we've taught previously and still have available for individuals. I tell people that I've taught and initially was within a church that taught in a particular way. And one of the ways was to believe in Jesus Christ and what we call accepting Christ as Jesus as one's personal Savior. And I believe that Jesus Christ is a unique individual in all of human history. All of human history. I believe that Christ is. Jesus Christ is a unique individual in all of human history. There's something unique and special about Jesus the Christ. I believe that Christ, according to the whole of the Bible, is something that is, the Bible calls it, let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. Christ in you, the hope of glory. So Christ, the Christ, is something that can be in each one of us. It is a mindset or the Spirit of Christ. Paul the Apostle said, we have the Spirit of Christ. The Spirit of Christ dwells in us. So each one of us can have the Christ in us. I believe that. I live that. And pretty much this is what we're talking about. And there should be no confusion about that. There should be no confusion about that. I think there's a lot of confusion in the world about that. And the Spirit of Christ could be called a number of things. And he is called a number of things all over the world. But I move beyond that confusion. No matter what you call the Spirit that is called the Christ in the Bible, is still the Spirit of Christ. So there's no confusion as far as I'm concerned. And when it's taught, I have an item called How to Hear God's Voice. And it talks about biblical meditation. And it says the Holy Spirit use of every faculty of man's heart and mind. So it's talking about biblical meditation. It mentions that biblical meditation is endorsed 18 times in the King James Bible. And it is God in action within the individual. It's God's granting revelation through the heart and mind, which has been yielded to him or to her. You can see God does not have gender. Humans put gender on God. God is a spirit. The Bible says that over and over again. And the results of this interaction with God is wisdom from above, spiritual wisdom in regard to everyday activities. Peace is pure and gentle. And so this is what happens. And so it talks about on the right hemisphere that music makes music. And then it gives art awareness. So we mourn, which seems like an emotional response, but it's hearing God, really. And then there's ponder, that's intuition and reflection on things. And then there's imagination, where we imagine, we see, we dreams, and we have vision, that's imagination, that's all in the right hemisphere. And then on the left hemisphere, we have speech, which is connected with speaking and talking and communicating and conversing with oneself, which is really conversing with spirit. We murmur, we mutter, we roar. And then there's the written language, we write, which is seeing the things that we're saying, but seeing them on paper or as they're written out. And then we reason, which is study, guided by pictures, peace and flow. And then we reason together with God. All of these are things that are mentioned in the Bible as how God communicates with an individual. And then as a result of doing these things, we become individuals who are assured, are convicted about that which we've heard God say to us individually. And become convicted that we have heard, seen, experienced God. This is what we're talking about here. This is what we're talking about here. And so I will restore is really a great deal about this restoration of this relationship with Spirit. The restoration of this relationship with Spirit. God is always, always, always with us. Always. Has never separated God's self from us. God is closer to us than hands and feet. Closer to you than your hands or your feet. Near to us than our next breath, the poet said. Near to us than our hands and feet. Closer than our next breath. He's inside of our inside of our inside. He's inside your bones. She's inside your bones. Making music that can only be heard by those who listen. A still small voice. A vibration. A sound that is silent and can be heard in the silence. So I want you to listen now to this presentation on attracting abundance.
Or limiting beliefs, you may be carrying, increasing your natural ability to attract wealth and abundance of all kinds into your life. The initial breathing exercise is best performed in an upright position, so choose a comfortable chair or a seated position on the floor where you feel well supported throughout your body. Whenever there's a pause, I encourage you to take deep breaths, breathing in, holding, breathing out. Breathing in, holding, breathing out. At other times, there will be specific breathing patterns as you go deeper and deeper into conscious breathing, deeper and deeper into relaxation. As you follow my voice on this safe and relaxing inner journey, remember that you are always in control and may stop the meditation at any time or alter my suggestions to better suit you. The wisdom of your own subconscious may offer up images of its own as you listen. Simply remember to trust whatever comes up without judgment, allowing the powerful natural resource of your breath to relax and guide you. Now situate yourself comfortably in a seated position, arranging yourself so that you feel supported throughout your body as you begin to relax. Begin by simply breathing in and out naturally, allowing your eyes to close. See if you can bring your awareness into each part of your body gradually, becoming grounded, relaxed, comfortable in this present moment. As you do so, scan your awareness slowly from head to toe, releasing tension from the crown of your head, down through your forehead and your face, your neck and shoulders, your back, stomach, your hips, your thighs, your legs, your feet, and toes. And reverse it, come back up. Concentrate on just coming into the present moment, using the gentle rhythm of your breath as a focal point. If you feel any distractions, and gently releasing any unrelated thoughts or nagging concerns that may cross your mind. Breathing evenly in and out, releasing the tension from your body bit by bit, so that you can bring yourself fully into this moment. Breathing in again, as you're moving your awareness gradually from head to toe, focusing on every part of your body in turn, just breathing easily in and out, in and out, releasing a bit more tension each time as you move your awareness down from the crown of your head, over the forehead and cheeks, jaw, neck, shoulders, back, stomach, hips, thigh, legs, ankle, feet, toes, becoming more comfortable and present with each breath. Few moments, you can begin to practice a more deliberate breathing cycle, which is specifically designed to relax your nervous system and bring you to a safe state of deep inner calm where profound healing of mind and body can take place. Begin the cycle by exhaling all of the air from your body and then inhaling deeply through the nose to the count of 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Immediately begin to exhale slowly to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold the breath out for 1, 2 seconds. And then begin again inhaling deeply into your lungs for 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. And now slowly, very slowly, exhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holding the breath out for 1, 2 seconds. Inhaling again to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. Continue this breathing cycle for a few moments. Breathing in on the count of 4, breathing out on the count of 6, holding the breath out for a count of 2, and so on. next inhalation, imagine that the fresh oxygen is a cleansing blue wave flowing up to the top of your head. And then as you exhale, feel the wave sweep over the crown of your head, catching up any stray bits of tension there and sweeping them out of you as you breathe out again completely. Hold the breath out for a count of 2 and then inhale more for 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagining the blue wave sweeping through your forehead, face, and jaw, scooping up any tension there and carrying it away on your exhale of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again, breathing in the cleansing blue wave of fresh oxygen, reaching into every cell of your body with its cleansing power and sweeping out all doubts, any nagging concerns, all discomfort and tension that may be left, and carrying it all away like the blue-green waves of the ocean tide. Continue breathing in and out on the same cycle, just a bit longer. Continuing in this way. Counting to 4 on the inhale, to 6 on the exhale, holding the breath out for 2 seconds, just breathing and relaxing down through your entire body, sweeping up the tension and the worry and watching the cleansing blue wave wash it out to sea. And now, one final breath cycle, inhaling deeply on the count of 4, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Finally exhaling those last bits of tension, reaching a state of deep mental and physical relaxation. You can allow your breath now to return to its natural rhythm, just breathing in and out at your own pace again. Now that you've reached this place of deep, authentic, healing relaxation, just continue to breathe evenly and naturally, allowing my voice to be your trustworthy guide. And now, imagine that you're walking through a beautiful town or village or city, whichever presents itself to your mind. And it is a place with clean, attractive buildings and wide sidewalks, with crisp, clean air that feels good in your lungs. It is a sunny afternoon, and there's a pleasant feeling of busyness in the air. You see a few other people walking along, some in groups, some on their own, but they all seem satisfied and content, happily bustling about their business. This place feels good to you, refreshing somehow. There's something about this town, or village, this city that is completely safe and familiar and comfortable. It is exciting as well. You feel the pleasant curiosity to explore this place. Strolling down the sidewalk, you have a sense of purpose combined with a calm, contented feeling. As you walk along, you look around with pleasure at the lovely, graceful architecture, admiring the views and enjoying the fresh air in your lungs. As you come up to a turn in the road, you notice a tall building there at the corner. It is made of old red bricks. And there's a beautiful golden archway over the door, which is standing open, and somehow you know that you are meant to go inside. With a sense of confidence and curiosity, you walk into the building and find that it is a large, open room with stone walls, and it has a very high curved ceiling, and the ceiling is beautifully painted. The light is dim, but along the walls, candles and lamps burn brightly. Set inside little enclaves and shelves that are built into the stone. There's no one else inside the building, only you. And this is because there is something here that is for you alone. Just as you have this realization, you notice a kind of pedestal or altar standing in the center of the room. As you walk up to it, you see there's a large leather-bound book lying on top of it. Next to the book is a slender golden pen. As you run your fingers over the worn, dusty leather of the book's binding, you suddenly realize that this book has been placed in this place just for you alone to write in. In this book, you can safely write down your oldest, deepest fears, write down your worries about the concept of wealth and abundance. You can write down any anxieties you are carrying about money or the lack of resources or the lack of them. and about the idea of prosperity and what it means to you. In this book, no one else will ever read what you have written. But now is the time to allow the words to come to you and to write them down inside the inviting pages of this book, knowing that it is safe and healing for you to do so. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And so you open the book. You begin to write with the slender golden pen. The words come easily because there are old ideas that you've carried with you for a long time. And now you are eager to write them down, to put them out of your mind and onto the page where they can be released from you. And so you're simply allowing the words to flow out of you and completely trusting whatever comes up. Perhaps you find yourself writing something like, I'm afraid that I'm not meant to be prosperous or to have enough. Maybe you write, I worry constantly because it seems that there's never enough. Or I'm so used to not having enough money or resources that I wouldn't know what to do if I had all that I needed. Perhaps your fears are different from these. Perhaps you find yourself writing, I'm afraid that if I did have enough abundance in my life, it would change me for the worse. And I would lose some friends, and people wouldn't like me anymore. Or maybe you'd write, I don't really deserve to have prosperity in my life because I don't work hard enough. Well, whatever comes up, you're just writing it down without judgment, without blame, trusting your own inner wisdom and giving yourself permission to express the oldest, deepest feelings you have surrounding money, resources, and the idea of prosperity and abundance in your life, knowing that you are perfectly safe here and that you can be completely honest. And so for the next few moments, you're simply writing down these old anxieties and concerns and allowing them to flow up from your subconscious and onto the page through the magic of the golden pen. And once you have finished writing what needs to be written, you set the pen down next to the book. And as you do so, you feel a warm sense of relief come over you, as if you just laid down a heavy burden. And suddenly you realize that all the words you have written are just that. They are words. They are ideas, fears, anxieties, and limiting beliefs, principles, values that you have been carrying. But just as you have been carrying them, they are perfectly free. You are perfectly free to let them go. And as you've carried them in your mind and heart, you can leave them at this time and in this book, and they will be there and forever gone. And with a feeling of great joy, you close the book, leaving within it all those old fears, those anxieties, those limiting beliefs that no longer have power over you, so that you can go forward without them. And so now, flooded with a feeling of freedom and gratitude, you suddenly notice that at the back of the room, sunlight is pouring in through a doorway that you had not seen before. And as you walk through that door, you can feel the warm sunlight on your face. And looking around, you see that you have walked into a beautiful secret garden, lush with cascading flowers and fruit trees, heavy with ripe fruit of all kinds. And there's a sparkling, flowing fountain in the center. The air is perfectly clean and refreshing. And you can feel how the pure oxygen nourishes your lungs as you breathe. And somehow you know that this is all for you, that this is yours, that it has always been available to you, that it always will be, and that it can never be taken from you. Here, in this place, which is the oldest and truest part of you, you have everything you need. This is your 4D life. This is your 4D space. And feel that. Running your hands through the crystal clear water, and looking around at the perfect beauty of this place, you suddenly realize with complete certainty there is enough. There's enough for you. There's enough for everyone. This realization fills your heart. It radiates warmth and relief from the center of your being, from the center of your chest outward. It runs through your whole body. And for a moment, you simply stand there among the blooming flowers and the cascading waters, and flooded with the joy of this knowledge. You simply be and radiate like the sun radiates And then, when you're ready, close your eyes and bow your head or lift your hands in gratitude in this wonderful, magical, secret garden which contains every resource that you will ever need, knowing that it's yours alone, that you deserve this place, that you desire this place, that you define this place, that is destined for you, that is within you, that you can return to this place whenever you wish. It's your 4D life. This is within you. You know how to manifest from this place, to create from this place, to bring forth from this place. This is within you. You know how to begin the praise, begin the gratitude, begin the creation from this place, to speak from this place. And now, with a final look around, taking it all in, this magical place, this wonderful place, you turn back into the room behind you. Walking up to the pedestal, you see that the book has disappeared, taking with it all your old fears, your anxieties, all your former judgments and worries and self-blame. And as you realize that the book is gone, you also understand in the deepest part of yourself that you are absolutely and truly free. Free to be and free to do all that you wish, all that you were meant to do, all that you were meant to have. All of that comes forth because you are all that you are meant to be. And that is the real truth. The capital TRUTH. That you came to this place to realize. Take that breath. And then you walk back toward the arched front doorway to the building. Back toward the town of Village, feeling lighter, feeling joyful, feeling confident, feeling refreshed, and ready to go about your way, knowing that you are better for having visited this place where you have always had and will always have all that you need. Now beginning to bring your awareness back into this present moment. You can begin to move your hands and your feet, perhaps stretching your muscles as you become aware of your body and your surroundings once more. And then gently opening your eyes to the world around you, knowing in your heart that there's no limit to the abundant resources this world has to offer. And so it is.
We are continuing with this as we come to the end of our presentation for today. We recognize that this particular attracting abundance has been long. We're going to end with this as we go forward, letting it play, and we'll end with this. You can come back to this, as it says, at any time. This has been extremely, for some, a very long time. But we'll have the meditation piece available to you so that it's basically by itself. You may not want to listen to it all in one setting. And we'll have others that will be available to you. With all of the tools that are made available to you, the intent is to give you the tools that you need to create your reality. That is something that you bring from within you, something that you make happen and allow to happen, that is not controlled by what's outside of you, but controlled by what is inside of you, by your 4D life. You create this. And we want you to have the tools that make this possible. So we invite you to send us an email at info@iwillrestore.com. We invite you to, if you would like to get the Neville Goddard various packages that we have. The first package is called the Bronze Package, and that is what we're saying is free to you. That package, the Bronze Package, contains the 5 sermons. The first 4 of those, consciousness is the only reality. COR, we call it. Assumption hardens into fact. AHIF. There is thinking fourth dimensionally. TFD. There is no one to change but self. No one to change but self. And there is one other one, and it deals with the whole aspect of the one I think that keeps staying with me are these individuals. They just keep staying with me. No one to change but self, and consciousness is the only reality. Those are my basic favorites that I work with. And so all of these are those first 5 items that we are working with. Assumption hardened into fact. And we want you to, of course, work with these items and to be able to work with them in such a way that they bring forth the life that you desire, that make it possible for you to have the life that benefits you, that blesses you, that brings forth the entire life, that you have it the way that you want this to be for you. You want it to be for you. And as a result of that, you then, in bringing this particular item forward, you have this life that you want. So consciousness is the only reality, assumption hardened into fact, thinking fourth dimensionally, no one to change but self, and then remaining faithful to your idea. These 5 presentations that come from Neville Goddard, remaining faithful to your idea. And these items that will do you well as you come forward. God bless you. Take care.